Hi friends, in this video we will talk about e-waste. So what are these e-waste? Electronic goods such as computers, mobile phones, music players and game devices. These have a short life cycle. It may be of few years after which they are either discarded or traded by users. In the case of computers, the recycle rate is about 3 to 5 years. That is, organizational users upgrade their personal computers or laptops after this period. They either discard or trade in old computers. With the tremendous growth and evolution in the computer hardware industry, organizations and individual users are under pressure to acquire and use the latest computers that are invariably faster and have greater capacities than the older ones. The discarded old computers and devices turn into e-waste, whose proper disposal poses a huge problem. So e-waste refers to all categories of electronic products that are discarded and have to be treated as waste. A bulk of products is constructed with materials that are toxic and cause pollution when disposed of. Industrialized and developed nations typically treat all types of waste by burying it in huge pits in the ground called landfills. These landfills are created at places away from human habitation where the pollution created by them will not be harmful to humans. Some waste products which can be recycled are separated out. For instance, carbon-based waste products can be reused as fuel. E-waste too is often sent to landfills. However, owing to the massive quantities of waste being generated, landfills too are not a solution. Developed nations also export legally or illegally e-waste to undeveloped or less developed countries where the waste is recycled or disposed of. Undeveloped countries take the e-waste thus exported at it costs them nothing and they can extract minerals such as copper and iron from the waste and make profits. This process, however, is fraught with problems. In most underdeveloped and developing countries, e-waste disposal is neither an organized activity nor well regulated. Waste disposal is done in an ad hoc and unscientific manner. This causes massive environmental pollution. The pollution affects the health of the workers employed by waste disposal agencies. India is among the nations that receive e-waste from developed nations. According to Center for Science and Environment, India imports almost 50,000 tons of e-waste illegally. Besides illegal e-waste import, India itself generates e-waste in around 330,000 tons of e-waste every year. The CSE estimates that hardly 10% of the total e-waste produced and imported is properly recycled. The rest is disposed by ad hoc means, adding to pollution at a very high order. China is also among the countries that receive e-waste from the developed world, from the developed countries. In 1992, the Basel Convention was formulated in Europe to regulate e-waste exports. The convention made it mandatory for European countries to recycle as much as of their own waste as possible and export only those that could be managed by less developed countries. The convention was not ratified by USA, which is one of the largest producers of e-waste in the world. One side effect of Basel Convention and its latter amendments was that it became very expensive for countries in Europe to dispose their e-waste in comparison to export. The example is Netherlands. It is 4 times more expensive to dispose of trash legally than to export it illegally. Following the imposition of control on exports in Europe, an illegal trade flourished. So the question is, how can we manage these e-waste? Many organizations have evolved policies to manage and control e-waste. These procedures are intended to control e-waste internally as well as reduce the organization's contribution to global e-waste. There are many standards that companies needed to be followed, like acquire components that are predicted to have a life more than at the end of life cycle, move components to less demanding environments where they can be used further. Reinstall software on computers that prolongs their useful life. As example, install special configuration of open source software on old laptops and desktops, so to enable them to function with new hardware peripherals. Enables users to share resources that are functional and remove unusable ones. Also, there's a concept called centralized computing. Many firms have started centralizing their computing resources using a technology, and this is called virtualization. Using this technology, most of the computing resources of the organization are consolidated under one central computing environment, and users and departments can access these resources through their internal networks. Virtualization allows older computers to be included in the central computing. This technology reduces e-waste as it requires less number of computers to be purchased as servers, and it also allows older computers to be included in the new configuration, thus extending their useful life. The other premises can also be followed, like the use of renewable and recyclable materials. Many computer and device manufacturers have realized the value of using renewable materials and are actively including them in their design. Such materials allow safe disposal after their useful life. Furthermore, manufacturers are also publishing procedures for recycling products in an environment-friendly manner. Thus, it's our responsibility to follow these procedures for the purpose of reducing e-waste from our world and make it a better place to live. Friends, in next video we will talk about a different case study. For this video,